Hello and welcome back to this sacred space. In today's reading, you will receive information about your next rebirth phase. And we call it a phase because it is a process. It is not something that will happen overnight. It will be moving at different paces for all of you, depending on what is suitable for your journey at this time, which we will gain information about in the piles here today, in the messages. So I'm just going to begin by setting an intention for the reading while you have the opportunity to meditate on the options here today. So let's begin. Crafting the sacred space. I'm connecting into my sacred self and the wisdom of my sacred self through all existing lifetimes, both the past, the present, and the future coming together in this now moment. Connecting into my ancestry line, my beloved dead, and my own subconscious terrain. Connecting deeper into the essence of Ma Kali, my dark beloved mother, to ask for her assistance in protecting this sacred space, as well as to act as a messenger between the spirit guides, the ancestors, and the beloved dead of this community and myself. Activating and enhancing my psychic abilities and my mediumship abilities in order to give accurate messages to this community in a way that honors my energy, my vessel, my being. I set the intention that I channel these messages in a clear, concise, compassionate, loving, impactful, and powerful way, and in the true mark of the manifestor energy type, for me to ignite and initiate the consciousness of this community. I also set the intention that I give clarity, wisdom, and truth through these messages, and I pray that these messages are for the highest good of all beings and Earth in its entirety. Let it be so. Thank you very much. Let's begin the readings. Message number 1. Today I will be relying heavily on the cards to preserve my energies, which are running quite low today. So we will take a look at the focus of this rebirth phase, the timing of it, some advice, and also a message of support. I kind of like be doing it the sort of old school way, if you like. Okay, on reversals. This will be a slow-moving process for you. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. And also remember, if you are connecting into different messages here today with contradicting messages, there could be one phase after another here. Just to be aware of that. 2 of Wands. So we have a progression. And the Hanged One in reverse. And at the bottom we have the 3 of Wands. This is about your energy. And your energy can take many expressions. So it can express itself through passion, through sexuality, through creativity. So this is this internal force inside of you that drives you forward into purpose, into creativity and passion. And this next phase of rebirth is really coming home to a slower pace in life. The Hanged Man here is telling me that there has probably been a pattern in your life where you have been going too hard at times, and there has been setbacks because of that. So it has been a little bit of a bumpy ride, driving too hard and then being exhausted. But now let's move into the specifics of these messages here. So for the focus, we have the Ace of Wands. And it's really, as I said, about slowing down, but it is also quite specifically turning your focus more inward towards yourself, and also be more acutely aware of your energy levels and giving yourself opportunity to rest when you need to be more aware of how your energy flows and how you can honor and respect that. For the timing of this next rebirth phase, we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Something with this is giving me a 4. I don't know why. But that there are 2 wands, but they are in reverse. I don't know. Perhaps it's because it's 2 and 2. But it's giving me 4. So I think that this is... I'm getting like a 4-week period of more intense rest, and then a perhaps 4-month period where you are focusing more on recalibrating your energy, how you spend your energy. And this is not something that you will be necessarily consciously aware of all the time during these 4 months. Where are we then? Leading up to spring. So it is really preparing you to, well, whether it depends on where you live, of course. In the northern hemisphere, you will be in spring. In the southern hemisphere, you will be in fall. So it's a preparation for the next cycle, essentially, so that you have the energy, or you have mastered your energy in a way that you can continue your next growth phase. And the advice is the Hanged Man. It's about not resisting what is happening right now. So you could get extra tired. You could get down with the flu or something like that. So flow with it, listen to it, what it is trying to say to you, and allow yourself to be still. Because your body needs it. I actually want to draw a clarifying card for the Hanged Man because I feel like there's something more here with the Hanged One. Yeah, I felt the bottom card here. Guide. There's communication to be had with your guides, Arcana, we have here underneath. So there's communication with your guides, with spirit, connecting deeper into your spiritual path. Because that is preparing you for your next growth cycle here. So now we will receive a message of support from your guides, ancestor, beloved dead, whomever might want to give you a message. Tantra of 639 Hertz. And I'm going to also read a little bit from the guidebook for this card because I am not that well acquainted with this deck still. But I do feel this dance of energy in this card. Be open to that which seems unfamiliar or different. You will experience a breakthrough as you embrace an unusual approach. You are on a soul path of accelerated spiritual growth, which is swifter but not always easier. You do not have to contrive your own happiness, but you can dip into the bliss within your body to lighten your mental state and remind yourself everything is working out beautifully. So there's also support to be found in the body and experiencing pleasure within the body, perhaps through soft, gentle movement, like yoga, for instance, or slow walks in nature. But there's also a message here of support in allowing you to do life a little bit differently from now on. More on your terms when it comes to your pace and your energy. And Makali is saying that that is all for this reading here today. Thank you very much for connecting in, and I do hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye. Message number 2. I am relying heavily on the cards here today because I'm running a bit low on energy. So I'm doing my very best to take care of myself in that way. So we are taking a look at the focus of this next rebirth phase, the timing of it, advice, and a message of support. For some reason, I received an image of a polar bear here. So that could mean something for someone. I believe that there is a polar bear in this deck as well, if I'm not mistaken. You will actually receive 4 cards here. So you have the Queen of Coins, the Emperor, the Eight of Cups, and the King of Swords. And at the bottom we have the Queen of Wands. So this is about respecting yourself, respecting your own needs, and setting boundaries in some area. It could be towards yourself as well, if, for instance, you are engaging in things that aren't really good for you, like scrolling immensely, and things like that. So that's sort of the broad overview that I'm receiving here. So let's get into the details. Or was it anything else? Yeah, I'm going to clarify with this. Please clarify the Queen of Coins. Travel and vision. Do you see that both these are winged creatures? There's something in your ways that you're being called to elevate. And it does have an material connotation to them, or it relates to something material in your life. So this could be relationships, but I also feel habits that you engage in. So it's about elevating your lifestyle to a much how should I express this? Taking a look at yourself and your life at a much higher view, having a bigger vision, and perhaps you have a bigger vision, and it's about really connecting into that, who you want to be, what kind of life you want to lead and to live, and to really connect into that and realize what needs to be in place for you to get there. And I'm feeling some confirmation from my guides for that. So that's what this is about. It's about elevating your life and doing the things necessary for you to have that elevated life. Whatever that means for you, only you can know. And the timing here is the Emperor. And so this connects to Aries season. And this is something that you will be working on until Aries season. But it will be like a bit of a roller coaster. Arcana. Yeah, I see the spiral here. That's so interesting. Because it's like you will come back to old habits, and then you will drag yourself out of it. But every time you come back to your old habits, there's like a new insight that you have, or whenever you are pulling yourself back to where you want to go, you cement that into your being, that's where you want to go. So it's not like you are coming back from your starting point, but you are growing and evolving here through returning to your old habits and then pulling your way out of them, if that makes sense. So for advice, we have these two cards, the Eight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. And this is about being really honest with yourself. Be real honest with yourself. What is it that you engage with that it's time to let go of? That you know that that you know hasn't got a place in that elevated life of yours, that dream life of yours. If you think about it. And it's not something, because we have the Eight of Cups here, it's not something that gives you long-term satisfaction either. So it's something that is short-term gratification that gives this easy hit for the mind. And so remember that this could relate to, I do feel, either habits or dynamics in relationships. Those are the two main areas to look at for this. And I do feel that you have some awareness around this already. And the Queen of Wands is really, the Queen of Wands in reverse is really a message about what is standing in your way to become this glorious person that you know you're supposed to be, radiating with beauty and confidence and whatever it might be, living the kind of life that you love. So now we will receive a message of support. And I know that my candle is sort of running over here. I will take care of that later. So a message of support from your guides, ancestors, or beloved dead. This looks messy. It feels like this message is from energies around you, and this message is from your soul. So I will read from the guidebook. You are remembering at a soul level. You are tapping into greater awareness and an understanding of your highest life purpose shall become even clearer to you. This may evoke unsettling change within you, but that change is necessary for a new way to manifest. You are protected and guided at all times, especially when you feel uncertain about your course. You are truly loved. So you know that there is a different place for you to be with yourself and your life. And the changes that are necessary will probably be a bit uncomfortable in the beginning, but they are necessary for your growth. So this is a message of support from those energies around you that, yes, this is a confirmation that you are meant to experience more. And yes, it will be uncomfortable at times. Don't step back. Push through. And now for this message from your soul. So we have 40 and 41 here. Also, that's interesting. I feel like this is also breaking free from some karmic patterns in the ancestry line. Value what is sacred to you by protecting it from interference, even that which may be well-intentioned. Be compassionate but set firm boundaries. You are going to triumph over a negative situation. It will take courage, but you have more than enough in inner strength, resourcefulness, and boldness to accomplish what you wish to attain. Do not give up. You have the ability to connect with higher worlds, so open your heart and mind to the light. And what I'm receiving with this message also is that there will come times in this journey when you do feel alone, perhaps misunderstood. But it is just you growing, and perhaps even growing out of certain relationships. But new relationships will come, or your current relationships will change and deepen as a result of this growth. So you will be relying on yourself quite a lot, and there's also a little bit of a message here of keeping things quiet for a while it's very vulnerable. The things that you want, the things that you're trying to achieve. Keep it quiet for the first few weeks or few months here, so that this vulnerability doesn't get crushed by outside opinions. And Makali is saying that is all for today's reading. Thank you so very much for connecting in, and I do hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye. Message number 3. I will be relying heavily on the cards today because I'm running a bit low on energy, so I'm doing my best to take care of myself. Now, this group feels like a more fast-moving energy. So we will take a look at the focus of this next rebirth phase, the timing of it, advice for you, and also a message of support from your spirit guides, ancestors, beloved dead, or your soul. And if you are connecting into more piles, perhaps these are, or I should say probably these are cycles that you are moving through, or phases, rebirth phases that you are moving through simultaneously. We had the 7 of Cups jump out in reverse. I'm just going to feel into if there's a message with this in itself. So this goes in the middle is what I'm hearing. It feels like there's something that you want to decide on, but you're a little bit scared or hesitant on it. Like something you want, something you desire. But let's see. I'm actually going to pull one more here. 2 of Cups in reverse at the bottom. King of Swords. 7 of Cups in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse in the same position. And then the Three of Coins in reverse. I'm just feeling into if there's any messages, sort of the overview of this spread. We have a lot of cups here, 3 cups. It feels like this push and pull between expectations and what you want. So expectations that you were brought up with or were surrounded with, and then internalized, and perhaps you're not even aware of them anymore. Being opposed with what you want, what you desire for your life. I feel like you're probably an very artistic soul, or intuitive, spiritual, psychic. And like there's another path of being more logical and reasonable at the other side. That perhaps feels more safe or more expected of you. And perhaps you have the, how would I say this, the brain for that. But I did feel that I did want to say that, because perhaps you can identify with being I can never remember which side it is, but the side that is more logical, and analytical. But you're also this free-spirited, perhaps poet, artist, psychic, healer. I can relate to that, most definitely. So the focus here with the King of Swords for this next rebirth phase is to get very objective and analytical, which you seem to have an inclination towards. Like this is something that probably you're good at, is what I'm feeling. But in the way where you take a look at the gifts and talents that you have, the signs that are there, what you're driven to do, to become, and detach from the emotionally dependent side of this. So detaching from the fear of letting people down or letting yourself down or appearing weird. It's actually about being very objective and very analytical and look at the facts and the data about what's right here. And see where sort of the emotional detachment is disturbing your goals, your visions, and your dreams. So this is about becoming more clear about that, so that you can sort of clear away any interference or obstacles when you move into the next phase of actually pursuing, planning, go go after it. I feel like there's a necessity for a card here from the Earthbound. I feel also that it could be a call to set boundaries as well. Perhaps there are people in family or something like that that likes to talk about certain things, certain subjects that triggers this codependency in you, or that triggers your desire to please, or something like that. And being very firm with, no, we are not talking about that, because I don't want to talk about that. We can talk about other things, but not about this. So we have travel and vision. The exact same two cards that showed up in this position for group number 2, or for message number 2 as well. Is there anything else? It's sort of the same message of tuning into the more elevated version of you, what that looks like, and not settling for less. Okay, so now we're moving on to the timing aspect. So we have the 7 of Cups in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse, which makes me think of Capricorn season. Don't ask me how, it's just how my psychic abilities work. So, Capricorn season. Is there anything else? I need to draw another card, because there's something else that I'm not connecting into. Fear. So this also depends a bit on how much you let the fear get in your way. The fear of not pleasing, or the fear of not being enough, the fear of not feeling worthy or being worthy, the fear of not succeeding. But there's something about Capricorn season. Can you give me some more information, please, Makali? This is where it all turns on its head, in a way. I get this experience of a breaking point, and perhaps this is you having enough with pleasing, or whatever, however it may look for you. But there's this very sharp turning point that is accessible in the Capricorn season, but what you do with it depends on you. So it depends on you here. So moving on to the advice, we have the 3 of Coins. This is about not taking advice, not listening too much on the people around you who live lives that you don't want to live, who work with things that you don't want to work with, who does things that you don't want to do. It's about turning your gaze into your own path. And it may very well be so that the people you surround yourself with unconsciously have been the sort of people that choose the more traditional path, the more rational path, the more prestigious path. And perhaps this is a time for you to seek out companion in people that live the type of life that you dream of. Perseverance. And at the bottom we have intuition. And it's a heart. You need to be very, very firm in your belief here in what you want and what is right for you, and not let anything or anyone deter you from this path. And Two of Cups in reverse at the bottom is a message to really connect with what makes your heart beat. To connect with the love of your lifetime in whatever shape or form it takes. Perhaps this is about a relationship that people around you disapprove of. Could be. Because it's a person who's not educated enough or whatever it might be. So, a message of support. I believe I can sense this message coming from Source. Yeshe Tsogyal. And I'm going to read a bit from the guidebook for this. You shall overcome all obstacles. Success is imminent, so stay connected to your path no matter what and continue to apply yourself. Allow your spiritual path to support you in all areas of your life. Live by your spiritual beliefs. Seek out the support of your spiritual brothers and sisters for help when needed, but also trust that you are intimately and directly connected to the powerful divine light within. There can be a dramatic healing breakthrough when you rely upon your spiritual connection. So this is really about pushing through the resistance because you know what is right and what is best for you. No one else can tell you that. And if it feels lonely at times, you can seek out connection in community, is what I'm receiving from this. And Makali is saying that that is all for this message today. Thank you very much for connecting in, and I do hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye. Message number 4. I will be relying heavily on the cards today because I'm running a bit low on energy, and so I need to be gentle with myself. For some reason, I do feel like picking up this. Actually, there's something here. Interesting. So we will take a look at the focus of this rebirth, the timing of it, some advice, and also a message of support from your spirit guides, your ancestors, beloved dead, or your soul. This feels a bit more elusive somehow. So I'm going to pull from this deck as well. There's something where I just want stillness, and I just want to connect deeper. Perhaps you can relate to that, but there's something very mysterious about this this message. So we have the Ace of Cups and Toxic for the focus, and we have Intuition and Wise One, which is the Hierophant, as well as Perseverance and Three of Cups for the timing. That's a lot of cards for the timing aspect. And then we have Abundance and the Star for advice. And at the bottom, we have Nine of Coins in reverse. It feels like you are seeking deeper fulfillment and a better way to make use of your personality, your talents, your gifts. This feels quite work-related. Like you are perhaps considering leaving the well-worn path to carve your own, and perhaps even choosing one or more spiritual modalities to focus in on. Like there's a knowing that there's a better way to make use of your time, your energy, your talents, your abilities with the Nine of Coins. That is not being utilized, and that's why it is in reverse. And that brings a sense of this dissatisfaction and unease, like you know that there are better pathways for you. So with the focus here with the Ace of Cups and Toxic, it's really a confirmation for me that you are looking for something to fill your cup emotionally and spiritually. You feel like the sort of person that can't really rest until you have this spiritual, emotional fulfillment in your job or your purpose. Because whatever you are in right now feels a bit toxic, like it's not meeting your needs, and it's very, very important to you. Your soul is very intent on what it wants, and it is very, very focused, like this is what I came here for. And there is a certain timeline for that, so there are reasons to why you are at the place that you're at the moment. But I do feel like there is change here. So let's take a look at the timeline, or was it anything else? There's something more with the Nine of Coins. We have the Voice. Yeah. There's a feeling here of there's a longing to express yourself more authentically. A more authentic way to bring out your gifts and to help community, your wolf pack. And also a very, very deep longing for belonging is something that comes through. And for some of you already has that. But I do feel that for a lot of you here, this is lacking. And I'm really looking at the blue here, the indigo. Your path is very, very spiritual. You have a very, very spiritual purpose this lifetime. And I receive confirmation on that, so from my guides. Okay, so the timeline. Wise one, that is May. And the 3 of Cups is, oh my God, I can't remember. Yes, it's Cancer. It's Cancer season. So between May and June is where you can expect results, is what I'm receiving. So from now until May, June, there's like this arc there in May, June that is really prominent. And for now, it's about persevering in this path, persevering and following the compass, the intuition, the guidance, the messages, and not deterring out of fear. Is there anything else with the advice card? Oh, or timing. This is timing. So interesting that we had these on the timing as well. So this could also be tied into where in the year that Salmon mates. Isn't that in early spring? And this is something about north. And my mind is being drawn towards how I see the year in my inner vision is quite different from a lot of other people visualize it. But I see it as sort of winter being here, and then spring and summer at the top, and then fall and winter, spring, summer. So there's this summer arc here as well. So this is where you will really see some progress from this. See results yielding from this. Okay, so for advice, we have the star and abundance. So what they are saying is this is also Aquarius season, so there's something about Aquarius season. Perhaps this is where you are setting new goals or make some sort of plan or getting mentorship or something of importance. There's something important that happens here that will assist you and aid you in this. Or it could even be related to getting sort of tax help or business help or something to really realize this. And abundance here. This is saying that you need to follow the action steps, the guidance that makes you feel abundant before it shows. Because the things that are putting you into this expansive feeling space of feeling very blessed and fulfilled and satisfied that's the right clue, that's the right next step. When it comes to offering your gifts and talents, if that makes sense, because those other things, those very practical things, could have a different timeline or a different set of steps to them, if that makes sense. But in terms of how to express this gift or this purpose, the steps are in what gives you abundance internally. Okay, so a message of support from your guides, ancestors, or beloved dead, or your soul. There's something with the bottom card. Oh, look, Ivory Wish Fulfilling Crow. That's beautiful. At the bottom we have Pearl of Shadow. I'm going to take a look at both. I'm going to read from the guidebook. Pearl of Shadow. Taking responsibility for your experiences empowers you. You are going to resolve an issue through spiritual inspiration and higher guidance. You will rise up in full connection to your spirit and access a wealth of divine treasure. That which has brought darkness into your world shall submit to the light and be transformed. Have courage and commitment to your awakening, for you are a precious being and can go far on the spiritual path this lifetime. So this is really about whatever darkness or obstacles or struggles you are facing, both previously and from now on. That is substance for your gift. That is substance for what you bring. Your capacity to transmute that into some teachings or wisdoms or healing practices, that is the sort of substance of your offering, if that makes sense. So whenever you feel that you are moving through something difficult on this path, remember that it is a learning ground for turning this into an offering for community. Ivory Wish Fulfilling Crow. You can have what you truly want. I do feel such a strong sense of relief from hearing that, because perhaps this hasn't really been easy for you. You can have what you truly want. Such knowledge helps soften and release fear, grasping, control, and doubt. Have confidence that the universe hears your prayers and is even now leading you into that which you seek. You can take sanctuary within your spiritual connection whenever you need stabilization and protection against the fluctuations of the external world. No matter what is happening around you, there is a way through to the fulfillment of your potential. So you are being supported and guided through this entire process. Spirit won't let you down on this. Spirit will be right beside you, backing you up. This path is supported. And I'm hearing that that is all for today. Thank you so very much for connecting in, and I do hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.